Most people think that the way to become an influencer is just get that one viral video, please. And while that may have happened to an eensy-weensy tiny small percentage, the vast majority of creators got there through consistently showing up day in, day out, oftentimes for years. Especially if you want to grow on YouTube, there is an entire ecosystem of creators helping other creators, none more instrumental than Roberto Blake, who, by the way, rose to prominence himself by consistently showing up day in, day out for years. Roberto now has over 500,000 subscribers who rely on him for guidance on entrepreneurship and on-the-ground creator advice. So it doesn't take a giant brain to work out why big brands hire him. His audience is ready to invest in products and services that will help them along their business journey. One more thing, Roberto is one of the most transparent creators out there, and he recently shared that he made over $60,000 on brand deals alone in 2020. So let's dive into 3 of Roberto's recent partnerships to deconstruct how he brings these collaborations to life. And make sure to stick around to the end to learn how you can apply Roberto's brand deal skills to your own sponsorship strategy. So the first sponsor is Google Ads. In Roberto's video, 7 best businesses you can start for less than $100, he plugs the brand shortly after the intro.
This portion of the video is sponsored by Google Ads Smart Campaigns. Google Ads actually helps me and my team save time and money, and that frees me up to spend more of my time on this content and on this community. Automation is the reason that we can get so much done as a small team. We've been using Google Ads Smart Campaigns in order to sell my digital products and my online coaching, and it's really helped grow the business. Sign up is simple. You tell them your business goals, you decide where you want to advertise, you craft your message, you set your budget, and you go live.
That's it. That's the ad. Well, not really. I mean, there's a little bit more at the end, but that's sort of the point, right? You see, there's a reason why there are tried and true methods to advertising, methods that haven't really changed over a long period of time. It's because they work. Look, I'm all for coming up with exciting and innovative ways to pitch brands and stand out, but what matters most is that your audience actually hears the message you're delivering. Flash is great, but the information can't get lost in all the fireworks. And this is why Roberto Blake is a great example of how keeping things simple can be the most effective and efficient way to deliver the goods. He introduces the brand, establishes why it's beneficial, and breaks down how it works, all in 30 seconds. Simple, informative, and quick.
So if you want to work smart instead of just working hard, join the other small business owners in our community and sign up for Google Ads Smart Campaigns. Link is in the description down below. Thanks again to Google Ads Smart Campaigns for sponsoring that portion of the video.
Call to action. One thing Roberto does great here is emphasizes that you should join the other members of his community that are using Google Ads. So you almost feel like you're missing out, right? Wait. Everyone else is using this and I'm not? I guess I need to check it out, right? Don't underestimate how powerful a little FOMO can be. Up next is StreamYard from Roberto's video, how to get paid brand deals and sponsorships. And once again, it comes near the beginning of the video.
Speaking of brand deals and sponsors, today's video is sponsored by my good friends over at StreamYard. StreamYard is the simplest solution for live streaming on all platforms.
So Roberto does something a little different here. For StreamYard, he shows the brand logo at the very beginning, which makes sense because StreamYard is a relatively new brand and isn't as ubiquitous as, say, Google. A side note, do you think there's anyone who hasn't heard of Google? Okay, Google, what percentage of the world's population doesn't have internet connection?
Important to remember that roughly 40% of the world's total population remains offline.
40%? Now, the other thing I hope you caught was a few key words that Roberto used when talking about StreamYard. Simple and convenient, which is kind of the whole theme of this breakdown, right? On top of that, most of his viewers have probably watched one of his live streams that he's talking about. And surprise, he uses StreamYard to do it. In past brand deal breakdowns, we've always said that when a creator actually uses the product they're promoting, it makes the entire pitch so much more authentic, right?
Also, we can actually multi-stream to different platforms, usually Facebook, Facebook groups, LinkedIn Live, and even Twitter, all from StreamYard while we're on YouTube. So it's actually a really convenient tool. And the best part is you can sign up for free using the link down below.
If you recall, Roberto loves automation and using tools that allow you to do multiple things at once. He showcases how StreamYard does exactly that with some nice B-roll proving his point.
Also, don't forget to check out StreamYard, totally free, linked in the description down below.
And of course, near the end of the video, he reminds viewers to try it for free using the link in the description box. One really interesting thing that Roberto does is he creates his own vanity URLs files for his sponsors. Check it out. It says robertoblake.com/go/StreamYard. And when you click on it, it redirects to StreamYard's website with his referral code. So not every sponsor will be cool with you doing that, but for ones that are, it's an extremely useful way to get things like metrics on how many followers are clicking your links. Plus, it just looks nicer, right? It's like Roberto is driving you to another one of his resources off his website. So sponsor number 3 is Adobe Spark. In Roberto's video, 7 high-paying side hustles you can start today, he does something really interesting.
This video is brought to you by Adobe Spark. Check it out in the link down below.
That's it. That's the entire ad. I know I'm sounding like a broken record here, repeating the idea of simplicity, but this plug is a really good example of how Roberto is taking that approach to another level. So we get this quick 5-second ad for Adobe Spark with a big graphic covering up the entire screen, and then we get right into the video. In fact, probably 30 seconds in, you don't even think about Adobe Spark anymore until...
But what a lot of people don't think about is consistency in their brand. And that's where my background as a graphic designer has helped me. But if you're not a graphic designer, then this is where Adobe Spark can be actually really useful as a tool.
This right here is a mastermind at work. Roberto incorporates the ad into the video content itself. He talks about why Adobe Spark can be a valuable tool for graphic design, and because it's embedded at point number 4 out of 7, it doesn't feel tacked on.
If you're not someone with a natural talent for that, then that's where Adobe Spark Post and these templates can at least give you a foundation, because I know starting from scratch with a blank canvas is really intimidating. If I didn't have over a decade of experience in Photoshop, then this is exactly the kind of tool that I would need if I was starting out as a content creator on YouTube.
This is excellent positioning here. Remember, this video is for people looking to start a new side hustle. So naturally, they're going into these hustles a bit inexperienced, right? Roberto makes sure to emphasize that the biggest advantage to Adobe Spark is that it's designed for beginners.
Tools I'm gonna recommend that will help you get your feet wet when it comes to editing online video are going to be Adobe Premiere Rush and Adobe Spark Video. The reason I recommend Adobe Spark Video and Adobe Premiere Rush is because they are free for beginners. You have the tools that you need to just get started. And then if you want any additional features, there are premium options that you can upgrade to later.
So again, this is a pretty compelling value proposition. It's free if I'm just starting out? Wait, so I can do graphic design? Now you're telling me it has video editing capabilities? Where do I sign up?
Copyright is something we deal with a lot here on YouTube. And if you're a beginner getting started, you really don't want to have to hunt down for music and audio clips online or get into another subscription service. So the good news is that with both Adobe Premiere Rush and Adobe Spark Video, they have a convenient audio library you can use and add those to your video clips.
Super smart. You know, I've heard this from a ton of creators that they don't really understand how royalty-free music works and are just kind of intimidated by that whole process. So Roberto just casually drops that feature as an added benefit. Again, building it up. You're getting all this stuff for free initially until you want to up your game.
Thanks so much to my friends at Adobe Spark for sponsoring this video and everything you guys do to support creators. Remember, you can get all the resources I mentioned in this video in the description down below. And again, big thanks to our sponsor, Adobe Spark.
Call to action, a beautiful way to endure the brand to his viewers. He thanks them for everything they do to support creators. Adobe Spark has Roberto's big stamp of approval, which means a lot. So how can you apply Roberto Blake's sponsorship execution to your own brand deal strategy? There are 3 key takeaways. Number 1, use social proof. Just as Roberto mentioned in his Google ad spot that tons of creators in his community use the tool to help grow their businesses, you can do the same with your brand partners. And by the way, if you don't have any direct examples of how their product or service has helped your followers yet, ask them for examples of how it's helped others. You can easily share case studies like that in your content, so it adds credibility to the value proposition. Number 2, if it's not broken, don't fix it. Roberto has a brand deal formula that works for him, and he pretty much just sticks with it, right? As long as the way you're executing your sponsorships is performing well, you know, your brand partners are happy, your audience is happy, there's no real need to reinvent the wheel. And number 3, remember your audience. When a brand flashes a big payday in your face, it's easy to get distracted and forget that the content still needs to serve your followers. Otherwise, it's just gonna come off as a money grab. Just as Roberto aligned the motivations of side hustle creators with the benefits of Adobe Spark, make sure your brand integrations always provide legitimate utility. So which creator's brand deal strategy should I deconstruct next? Let me know in the comments, and then hit subscribe and click that notification bell so you'll be the first to know when my next sponsorship reaction video comes out. And one more thing, do you want intel on new brand deal campaigns? Every Thursday, I send out sponsorship opportunities exclusively to creators on my email list. So make sure to join using the link below.